The following is a presentation of Learfield IMG College.
This is Duck Insider.
Give it to Verdell. He's got the first down and go. Duck fans start celebrating. Oregon is the 2019 Pac-12 champion. The 2020 Rose Bowl champion.
Richardson, another open three. Good. Duarte dribbles and slams with the right hand. For the third time in the last 5 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions. Outright champs.
Foley three. Good. Foley ball. Out Shelley. Three ball. Good. Regular season champions and now Pac-12 tournament champions.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
You know, I'm laughing right now because as we go on the air today, I just saw a tweet from Jeff Smith. He's a big San Diego Padres fan. He actually just posted a picture of one of our favorites in Pat Kilkenny, who's got his cardboard cutout at the Padres game. And I just saw the tweet and that, way to go, Pat Kilkenny. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. That's how we welcome you on the air today. Thanks for joining us. We've got a lot to tell you about, including some fun things with DeAnthony Thomas and Jerry Allen. We'll revisit that in just a moment. Also today, we're going to take you inside the Oregon Nutrition Department with senior sports dietitian Nikki Jupe. She was really interesting to talk to. We spoke to her this morning. We have that interview for you coming up. Our Great Duck Show last night was a ton of fun. I hope that everybody enjoyed it. I sure did. Talking about the best lockdown cornerbacks in the history of the Oregon program. We got some fun highlights of that coming up. And the countdown is on still. Hopefully tomorrow some good news as everybody's got some cautious optimism around what could happen. We'll see what happens. We're waiting for that. And I'm hopeful that we'll have some good news for you over the next few days for Duck fans. Eric Moorhead says, great show last night. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. We had a lot of fun, and I want to get into that in a moment. But first, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. If you haven't, and you're not following DeAnthony Thomas on Twitter, you need to be. Because DeAnthony Thomas now has a fishing apparel line. It's Catch Dat Fishing, which, by the way, DeAnthony, great name. That had to be marketed so well. Catch Dat, you know, Dat. He was always known as Dat. Loved fishing. And I don't know if maybe anybody, I don't know how many people actually know this, but DeAnthony Thomas, huge, huge fisherman. The video story that Jerry Allen and DeAnthony Thomas did about going fishing has lived on the Go Ducks YouTube channel the last 8 years. One of the most popular, actually, that the Go Ducks YouTube channel has on it. And we thought, you know what? DeAnthony Thomas is starting a fishing apparel line. Obviously a dream come true for this pro duck. datmamba.com, by the way. We thought, you know what? Just seems like a great day for Gone Fishing with Jerry Allen and DeAnthony Thomas. This was produced before the Fiesta Bowl 8 years ago in 2012. Jerry Allen went fishing with DeAnthony Thomas. We celebrate DeAnthony Thomas's apparel line, going back in time and going fishing.
Hi, I'm Jerry Allen with DeAnthony Thomas. We're at the team hotel, the Fairmont Princess here in Tucson, where I thought it'd be about 90 degrees. It hasn't been 90 degrees yet.
No, it's been kind of cold for me. I think it's going to be nice and sunny. I mean, the sun is out right now, as you can see, but it's kind of cold.
A little chilly. We got a couple of fishing poles here. 2 years ago when we were here, there are ponds right behind the hotel. We actually caught a few fish, so I told DeAnthony about it. I said, you want to go fishing? And you like fishing.
I love to fish.
So we're gonna drop a line in here so we can't do something. Now, it's been really cold here. It's been around 35, 38 degrees. Even had some frost this morning, so fishing's probably a little slow, but fishing's always good. Sometimes catching's a little slow.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can catch some.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, before we fish, I want to know what's in this little pond. So this little sign here's got the whole thing. Tiger, tilapia, the red-tailed catfish. You catfish?
Yes.
You asked me if there's catfishing.
Yes.
All right.
I love catfish.
Oh, I do too. Catfish. You ever get stung or stuck over with the spikes on the?
Not yet.
All right. No. Bluegill. Caught some of those a couple of years ago. I'll be happy if I can just get a bite. You ready to try it?
Yes.
All right.
I'm
Let's do
ready.
it. All right. Now normally you'd use like night crawlers, a worm, maybe some cheese bait or a lure. Fish here eat bread. Good luck. You can eat it. If you don't catch anything, you can eat it. Fishing's always great. Now, when do you remember the first time you went fishing? Were you a little guy or how old were you?
I believe I was about 7 years old. Our track meet, like I said, one of my coaches, like when we didn't have a track meet, he'll just take us fishing, something to do, and we'll just run our hill, and then we'll go fishing for a little bit. And I remember the first time I caught a fish, the first fish I caught was a catfish. So,
Yeah.
And then I was just very excited. I mean, like catching the fish is like scoring a touchdown. I feel like it's very exciting, and it's just great to just catch a fish. I feel like it's the best feeling ever.
So you remember that first time you went fishing? You
Yeah.
still have that feeling? Still love it just as much?
Yes, I still love it. And just coming to Oregon, like it's one of the best. For me, it's like one of the best places to go fishing now. And I try to go fishing every Sunday after a big game, and just it's a good thing just to relax and just enjoy fishing.
You had some pretty good success. I mean, you caught some fish up here?
Yes, I actually caught a monster steelhead about at least a month ago, and
You caught a steelhead.
yes.
That's the one thing I was gonna try to get you to catch a steelhead. You already got one.
Yeah.
How's that? Now that's a big fish.
Yeah, it took me like at least 7 minutes to bring it in. It was just like one of the amazing, it was just so long and big. I was just like shocked that I caught it, and it took me at least like 7 minutes to actually bring it in.
So now, did you get to eat it or did you have to release it?
Matter of fact, I went with Grant Thompson. I didn't really get to cook it or whatever. I just let him take it to his family and stuff like
Oh,
that. I was
that's
just
great.
I was just excited just to catch it.
Now, but you haven't caught a salmon yet.
No, not
Okay,
yet.
we're gonna get you salmon.
Okay.
Because that's not 7 minutes. That's like 17 minutes. I mean, you'd be fighting that one. That's like trying to take out a couple of linebackers and they're trying to take you down. Yeah, you get about a 30-pound salmon on, you're gonna love it.
Wow,
You're gonna
30
love it.
pounds?
So that steelhead the biggest fish you caught?
Yes, it was the biggest fish I caught
So
ever.
in California, you mentioned catfish.
Yes.
Bass, bluegill, let's do that everything.
Bass. I caught a couple of bluegills. I catch bluegills just to use them as bait sometimes.
Yeah, that's
so,
fun.
Yeah.
Fish in the ocean. You ever fish in the ocean?
Never.
That's another different trip.
Yeah.
All right, I'm thinking of all these things. Now, would you trust me to take you on a boat down the river?
I believe so. I'll trust you.
You got good insurance?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. And a life jacket. You got to wear a life jacket when you're with me.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine.
Well, DeAnthony, I'm a little disappointed. I was going to help you get a fish here, but I don't think the weather's cooperating. It's nice and sunny, but it's just too cold.
I mean, we have all week to come back and go fishing.
That's
It's
right,
just right here. So, I mean, I feel like we have luck another day.
Fishing's always great. Catching sometimes is a little slow. Remember that.
Yes.
All right. We had a great day. All
Thank
right.
you.
That was Jerry Allen and DeAnthony Thomas. They went fishing before the Fiesta Bowl. It's one of my favorite things that we've ever produced here at Oregon. I think it's just so fun. And congratulations to DeAnthony Thomas. I know that's got to be a dream come true for him, launching his fishing apparel line today. That's a big success story for a pro duck. And that song, by the way, will completely be stuck in my head for weeks now. Great stuff. We had to do that today to kick things off on a high note. Meanwhile, great Ducks last night. So here was our master list of Oregon cornerbacks that we highlighted, and I'm probably even going to miss a few because I was trying to write them down so fast as the guys were firing through. Steve Smith, Chris Oldham, Jarris Bird, Mario Clark, Walter Thurman III, Troy Hill, Alex Molden, Mel Renfro, Rashad Bowman, Kenny Wheaton, Ifo Ekpreolamu, Cliff Harris, Ugo Chukwuemadi, We also highlighted George Shaw and Jake Leicht, who actually are going to be on my safeties list. Because remember, these are guys that were listed as DBs. It's tough to figure out if it was a DB or a cornerback or a safety sometimes for some of those older position guys, if you will. So those were the ones that we highlighted. And we also had our highlight of the week. I understand that we could have had it be the pick, but everybody's seen the pick, and that was just too easy of a choice. So instead, Scott and I picked this for our play of the week at the cornerback position.
And on the snap, straight drop to throw. Time over the middle. It is tipped into the air and incomplete. Oh, it's intercepted! Are you kidding me? Efo came flying through the air and got his hands underneath that tipped ball and brought it in before it hit the carpet. That is the play of the year.
It really was the play of the year. Jerry said it in a non-conference game, and it really ended up being the play of the year. Great Ducks, you can tune in every Tuesday at 5 o'clock across the Oregon Sports Network and on the Oregon Football social media channels. You missed the show last night. Oregon Football Facebook and the Go Ducks YouTube page has you covered. Great show. I really had a lot of fun. Next week, we're going to talk tight ends. Put together my list of tight ends. Scott Phillips is already pulling some highlights. It's a fun list. I'll tell you what, there's going to be some good plays that we're going to see when we talk tight ends next week. Coming up, we're going to talk to Nikki Jupe. She's going to take us inside the Oregon Athletics Nutrition Department. You're not going to want to miss this. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. More coming up inside the Country Financial Studio right after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We welcome you back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here inside the Country Financial Studio. Shadow Hills Country Club offering the perfect combination of rural beauty, great golf, and affordable family entertainment that builds a lifetime of memories. Thanks to Shadow Hills Country Club for their support. Earlier today, got the chance to catch up with senior sports dietitian Nikki Jupe. It's really interesting the way that the nutrition industry has taken off. And I'm really looking forward to having you listen to Nikki talk about it. She's had a heck of a career to get here, and I'll be honest, she really trailblazed her own way. It was cool to listen to her talk about the nutrition industry, and That's what we're going to focus on the show today. Inside the Oregon Nutrition Department with Nikki Jupe. Taking you inside the Oregon Nutrition Department today. Nikki Jupe is our guest, senior sports dietitian. And I got to say, we were just talking before we started recording, and I kind of want you to tell this as part of your 2-minute life story that I'm about to ask you for. Your name is spelled Jupe, and I got to say, I thought it was super interesting hearing how your name is pronounced, but then also where it came from. Could you share that real quick, just so everybody knows the proper pronunciation, and then I will not get in trouble ever again if I say it wrong?
Absolutely. So as long as I can remember through anything that's ever been announced, sports or graduation or anything, it has always been pronounced Jupe, but the correct pronunciation is Jupe. The E is not silent. I am mixed, so I have Hispanic, Czech, and German. My last name is Czech and German. My dad always gives me a hard time because he goes by Jupe, and we all turn around if someone says the name. But a lot of people mistake it and think it's like Jupe or Hoope or something different, and it's just Jupe, plain and simple.
Okay, so I had, I am one that is big on pronunciation, obviously. I want to make sure that we get everything right. And so I just thought that it was kind of cool hearing that. Because everybody, I feel like, knows somebody who has a name like that where they've just accepted that everybody says it wrong, and we're not going to do that. So Nikki Jupe is our guest. All right, so I kind of warned you about this. Everybody who comes on the show for the first time has to tell their 2-minute life story. I'm timing you. We have a leaderboard of who gets closest to 2 minutes. No pressure. What's the 2-minute life story of Nikki Jupe?
Okay, yeah, let's start. So I am from a small town called West, for those that are from there. Texas is actually north of Waco. So if you drive between Dallas and Austin, you go right through it. It's famous for the Czech Stop Bakery. Again, that Czech heritage. So a lot of people in my hometown actually have really long names. I even have family members with Pushowski. Took me a while to know how to spell that one. So I'm from a small town. It's really great. I did a lot of sports back then. I had a lot of fun in growing up in that area. But then from there, I actually went to MCC, which is McLennan Community College. I am a first-generation college student and graduate in my family, so that's pretty awesome. I actually got a scholarship to be able to do that through MCC. And then from there, I've always wanted to be a dietitian, except I didn't know that was the term. I really liked, funny story, I really liked how people would go to the sports and like help with injury. Athletic trainer, I don't do well with needles or blood, so that one canceled out really fast.
Right.
So from there, I actually was talking to one of my friends, and she was going to school to be a registered dietitian at Stephen F. Austin State University. I didn't know where else to go, so I went straight there. I actually called, got kind of a degree plan set up, and after my 2 years at MCC, went to Stephen F. Austin and did my undergraduate there. I loved it so much, I stayed there for grad school. So after my undergrad, you actually have to get into a rotation to be an RD. So it's kind of like a coordinated program, kind of life through a twist. I didn't get in on the first round. So I went to grad school for kinesiology and human performance. A lot of people don't really know that, but I found a really great mentor, Dr. Mark Ferris, that helped me kind of understand everything, made kinesiology kind of like a new passion under human performance. And then that next year, I actually got into that coordinated program at Stephen F. Austin for nutrition and dietetics. So I did double master there. And in that rotation program, you actually have to go kind of see different insights for sports nutrition. So, or not sports nutrition, but nutrition. And so they didn't have a sports nutrition rotation. So I kind of made one up with Amy Culp at UT Texas in Austin, and was able to go spend some time with her to see what that looked like to be a sports dietitian. And then I Googled it and found our association, Collegiate and Professional Sports Dietitians Association, and I actually was able to apply for this internship there. and it was the Gatorade Sports Immersion Internship. I actually did that at Texas A&M under Jonathan Tangway. I worked football and all of the sports there. Loved it. Great experience. From there, I went to Baylor for a year, worked football and basketball there. It was great under Jana Heitmeyer and the strength staff there, and it was fun. And then, actually the day after Baylor, I accepted that job there. Oregon called me, and I was like, I can't come. I just accepted a job. And then Oregon called me one more time. Pratik was persistent. And I said, Oregon doesn't call twice. And so I took the job here at Oregon. So now, almost starting my 5th season here I am talking to you, Joey.
Well, this is great. That was awesome. We're glad to have you. Thanks for taking the second call and accepting. I think I speak for all Ducks on that point. Hey, I'm curious, Nikki, because I just hearing that, you really blazed your trail. And one, good for you. That's awesome. 2, it seems like you really found a niche that was kind of hard to find. Why is that? I mean, I know that this is kind of a growing industry right now, and I want to talk to you about that, but it seems like you really had to work to find this niche that you're now in.
Right. So actually, when I Googled it, the association really only started in 2008, and the person that I interned under at Texas A&M is one of those founding people. And it was so mind-blowing that it wasn't a thing. Like, you couldn't find sports nutrition as one. It was either kinesiology or nutrition. It just wasn't necessarily together or merged yet. I know that there's been people working in this field for 20 years, but it's been kind of under the radar, and being able to kind of push those glass ceilings a little bit to get people in the just kind of in the mix with different schools. A lot of D1 schools do have full-time dietitians now, but some of them only have one for 500 people, and some have 6, so it's just really depends on that area and the conference and different things like that. But I can say through my, even 2014 to now, there's the world has expanded for registered dietitians in collegiate athletics, in the professional world, and even the tactical world. It's really crazy to just see that expansion, even in our conferences and what we're talking about and the target athlete. Again, you talk about what that athlete is and that definition, but it's been really cool to see just the expansion and being able to help people do the same thing that I do. We all have the same goal. We just do it different ways.
Maybe this is a dumb question, but, I don't know if you've ever seen the Reddit thread, explain it to me like I'm 5, because I am really like a 5-year-old when it comes to knowledge for a lot of different things. Why did it take so long, Nikki? I mean, it seems like this is something that is so valuable and so important. I mean, I think about how for regular folks, I'm not talking athletes right now, like diets have been a thing forever. So why did it take so long to get to this point and this focus in the industry?
I think where that kind of tradition of having, that medical staff in place, every kind of support staff has a nutrition piece. So maybe it's not just the sole focus, but there's been some of that education there in strength and conditioning when they take their test, athletic training and MDs whenever they're looking through. And I think that it hasn't necessarily just really focused on that nutrition piece until lately, till you've started seeing, wait, why am I helping this person continuously try to gain weight or make a meal plan when I'm trying to do an injury or when I'm trying to do a lifting? It's almost like you're eating from a plate that's overflowing, and there's people that are like, hey, like, I only want to do, the nutrition piece. I don't necessarily want to, focus on a workout plan or help injury prevention or even that recovery process. That's enough in itself, and you have to be an expert in those areas. So it's just kind of like, don't be a jack of all trades, be really good at one thing.
You're seeing that more and more across, I think, college athletics, where you're getting those specific positions. It's happening a little bit in the coaching areas, but also with support staff. I think I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, that we're seeing that more and more. We're just seeing it everywhere. And Oregon's really been on the forefront of that. We're going to talk about that with Nikki coming up. Nikki Jupe, our guest, taking you inside the Oregon Nutrition Department after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar presents an original that's now maybe even better. Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a bottle of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar with the same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Mary had a bottle of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. That's taste was as good as the original, maybe even better.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. As good as the original, maybe even better.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
It's important to buckle up your kids.
I know.
Sometimes car seats can be complicated.
I know.
And if your child's in the wrong seat and you get into a crash,
I know.
it could lead to a serious injury.
I know.
So you're 100% sure you have the right car seat for your child's age and size?
I don't know.
Don't think you know. Know you know. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Make sure you have the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio, where today's show is brought to you by North Fork Public House, open for dine-in and takeout, northforkeugene.com. We continue to take you inside the Oregon Nutrition Department, and it's a relatively new department here at Oregon, heading into its 5th season with Nikki Jupe at the forefront. There's 4 sports dietitians now at Oregon as that program has continued to grow. Mentioned that those support staff positions have grown around college athletics. This is one example, and to be honest, I am surprised that it took that long to get going. It seems like it's pretty darn valuable, and Nikki talks a little bit about that as we continue our conversation with Nikki Jupe. Nikki Jupe, our guest, a senior sports dietitian here at Oregon, kind of taking you behind the nutrition curtain, if you will. So, you touched on a little bit what got you into this. Where did your passion for this come from? I guess, could you elaborate on that a little bit and why this was such a cool thing for you to get into?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know where the passion came from. It's just like an innate thing. I really like encouraging athletes. I loved being an athlete myself growing up and just having that passion and seeing kind of people excel because they're, really into something and it's just kind of a part of them that, that fuel for to be accomplishment in that area. So there's some things that I really, really love, and nutrition has always been one of them. You would have never known as a young athlete because let's be real, I can down a whole pizza myself. And I've done that in the past. And when you think back now, you're like, wow, I really liked nutrition, but why was I eating what? So it's just funny because I've always liked it. I just didn't know that was the road I wanted to go down. Like I said, I thought it was an athletic training road. I didn't know that they were different until I dug into the weeds and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do with broken bones. I can't do that. I don't like blood. I can do sweat. I can do urine. I can do those things, but I can't do needles, blood, broken bones. So once you kind of learn and kind of go through and get in the weeds of the stuff, you kind of found that niche. And I found that niche when I was trying to kind of figure out what major I wanted when I was in that McLennan Community Junior College. And I always knew it was something like that. I just didn't know, it was going to be helping fuel people through nutrition. I thought it was all one big umbrella. And that could be another reason why people didn't necessarily focus on hiring dietitians in the past, because maybe who was doing the hiring thought, oh, the athletic trainer can do that, or, oh, the strength and conditioning person could do that. Maybe they didn't know that there was a person that their expertise is just in nutrition.
I'm always curious to ask people this that came to Oregon from other institutions, but I think the best way to ask it is just, what was your perception of Oregon before you got here? And then part two of that question is why Oregon? What was so appealing to take this job out here?
Steve Prefontaine. I've been a runner for forever. And so in the running world, that was it. Oregon called twice and I was like, I don't know anything about that besides that it's green and yellow and it's across the country and I've never lived outside of Texas. And Steve Prefontaine ran there. So I'll do it. So it's as simple as that.
I like it. I mean, hey, that I think that's really important, though. I mean, that tells you Steve Prefontaine is he's probably on the Mount Rushmore of Oregon athletics. So we've talked about this before. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Nikki Jupe, our guest, talking about nutrition, our senior sports dietitian here at Oregon. Okay, what does a normal day look like? And I understand that obviously that's hard to answer right now because things have changed in the last 6 months, but what did a normal day look like before the pandemic, and how have you guys adapted to it now is the second part of that question.
Yeah, so pre-COVID, they're long days. A lot of people kind of think of athletics as that glitz and glam, but you really got to get your hands dirty. And although I get to talk to athletes about different medical nutrition therapy stuff, that really drives me. But there's also the back of the curtain, like you said, type of thing. So getting here between 6 a.m., maybe 7, even earlier, depending on when lift times start.
Right.
If your lift time is starting at 7, we're usually here an hour early. If it's 6:30, it's 5:30. What's that look like and how those change? And then kind of making sure things are stocked. We really run on student interns here. So if we have those scheduled, we can depend on them to get that like early morning stocking done in our fueling station. So what that looks like is having drinks in the fridges full, making sure the bars or cereal or fresh fruit was bagged or cut, or bringing stuff from our storage area up to our fueling stations, making sure that is ready to go, open for the student athletes to grab something. And then depending on what it looks like, we could be doing a hydration test for that early morning lift. And some of those start at 6:30 in the morning. Typically, you kind of get those done, making sure that they're hydrated, and meeting with the coaching staff, depending on those results. It could be getting weights, pre-practice weights for those with early morning practices. Because if you think about it, the student athletes have to do stuff before class potentially starts, and class starts at 8, right? So all those things happen in the morning. And then making sure kind of brunch goes smoothly. We have a snack bag program that we do on Mondays, making sure that's set up, and just kind of having all those things, those moving parts done by the time that the student athletes can get some stuff going so they can get to class on time, feel fueled, or make sure that they have stuff in their bag for class. During that early morning time, it's some computer work. We still got to put data entry in, or create reports, or get things ordered for what's coming next, or preparing for game day. And then there's practice. Like the next thing we go to is practice, and what does that look like? Or maybe you had practice in the morning and now it's lift, or a lot of it, there's only 4 of us here, so we cover more than one sport. So we could have one sport in the morning and one sport in the afternoon. So typically for me, if we have a track lift and I have to do a hydration test for a competition, that's in the morning. I do some computer work, and then I can go look at basketball midday and maybe go back to track that afternoon for their practice, and kind of making sure if you're present at the practices, the kids or the student athletes get to understand and talk to you more. A lot of those things can happen on the fly. So something maybe that they wouldn't text you, they see you, that like, hey, can we meet? Can we talk about this? This is going on with me. Can we set up a time to do this? Or same thing with coaches. They see you there, they see you present. You're invested in the program. Maybe it's like, hey, can we talk about training table? This is a menu we need to set up. This is a post game I was thinking about. All those things, even working with the athletic training staff and the performance staff, strength and conditioning, like looking at kind of having those meetings around what they're seeing. And it's just, it's ever moving, ever changing, but they're long days because practice get in at 5, then you have a training table meal that, you can have the opportunity to live coach at, or maybe they go home and come back for that meal. You need to be there, and just different things. Every day is changing. So I would say the biggest thing to take away is long day, getting your hands dirty, making moves with product, and then being able to be present for the student athlete.
Nikki Jupe, our guest, talking about the nutrition department. I'm curious, what do you guys put in the fueling stations? I mean, what's kind of your list of things that you keep in stock?
Yeah, we have some great vendors. So we are obviously teamed up with Gatorade, and Muscle Milk is now under Gatorade. So we are a Gatorade school that offers those products. So that goes from Propel to Gatorade G2 to their new Bolt 24 to their recovery protein products, whether that's powder or ready to drink Gatorade nutrition shakes and Recover shakes. They also just combined with Muscle Milk last year. So we offer Muscle Milk Pro. We offer their plant-based, which is the Evolve. We do their 100-calorie. They have a lot of variety that we like to make sure we actually kind of periodize those with what their goals are. So one athlete may take a Pro because they need more protein, but another athlete might take a 100-calorie or a Gatorade nutrition shake because they're trying to gain weight. So we kind of base those off of those goals. And then before COVID, we did a lot of fresh fruit. We did a lot of bagging fresh fruit, cutting that out, making sure we had cereal, milk, soy milk. We had carrots, hummus, pretzels and hummus. We do bars with Kind, Cliff. We do a lot of Nature Valley bars. We do Honey Stinger, whether those little chews or their protein bars. We do a lot of bagels and peanut butter and cream cheese. A lot of those kind of snack, simple digestible things, or something they can grab after their lift to help recover, and maybe a snack like peanuts, almonds, trail mix for those easy things to throw in your bag for class, a lot of yogurt, things like that. So it's not a meal. It's really something to prepare you for practice or for that recovery, or a simple snack for class. Non-COVID times, we don't have our fueling stations open right now. We're still going to try to provide those package type, the bars and those easy accessible things. We can't do anything fresh right now due to that food handling piece and making sure that we aren't doing a lot of touch objects there. So now pre-COVID or post-COVID is going to be a little different with our day. We're still there setting up pre and post recovery, but it looks a little different, and just kind of doing a lot of our nutrition stuff via Zoom if we have consults, and making sure we're getting the same interaction with the athletes. It's just via Zoom now.
Everything's a little bit different, that's for sure. And, I imagine that as we continue through this, some things may never look the same again. And the cutting of fresh fruit and that kind of stuff, it may be a while before we see that again. I thought that was interesting, talking with Nikki Jupe about the way that her day goes. So we're going to continue that conversation. Still a lot more to come. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union, back inside the Country Financial Studio next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics, because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
All it takes is one drop to make a wave. One beat to inspire a track. One spark to get creativity flowing. With every drop, Life Water refreshes your mind and restores your body. Purified water, pH balanced with electrolytes for taste. Designed with original works of art on every bottle. Let us be your source of inspiration. Life Water, the feel-good water.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics. This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Listen and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Everybody buckle up. Mom. Buckle up.
Let's go.
Buckle up.
Can we go to the store? Mom,
buckle
can we get
up.
some ice cream?
Everybody, buckle up.
A lot goes on in the car, but you're in control. So only move when you hear the click that says they're buckled in. Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. And today's show brought to you by Jackson's, a proud sponsor of the University of Oregon Ducks. With everyday specials on game day necessities, you'll be ready for anything the big game brings. Go Ducks. Your Cafe 2-minute drill coming up. Some news on Justin Herbert and his next NFL start in just a little while. For now, though, we continue our conversation with Nikki Jupe. She is the senior sports dietitian here for the Ducks and working with basketball. And we continue our conversation kind of inside what they're doing in that department for nutrition here for the Ducks. How much of a collaboration is this, and maybe how important is it for you guys, and how big of a part of the job is just tracking the intake and keeping track of those goals constantly with different athletes?
It gets to be a lot, to be honest. Again, there's 4 dietitians to 450 athletes, and for myself, I have track and field, which is a roster of over 100. So understanding those high-risk athletes that do need that one-on-one time to get that personal education towards maybe something they're going through medical nutrition therapy-wise. And we do see or help those that may have some eating issues. So those are very high risk, and those are people that we will see religiously, weekly, things like that. Whereas there's a difference between making a meal plan and having those education sessions with the team to help them create their own eating schedule. So we can do a lot of different things, but it's our job to empower and educate them to be able to understand that your day, even though you're in the same sport, might look different than the athlete standing next to you at practice. And having those team talks and those team educations help narrow down some of that time. So it's not necessarily let me meet with 100 people in a month, but we do try to at least sit down with each athlete once a year to kind of get that general understanding of where they're at, so we can perform team education and or figure out, do they need that one-on-one high risk education.
It seems like maybe the biggest part of what you guys are doing is really just educating student athletes. You guys aren't just giving them different things and saying, okay, you're good. It's really an education, isn't it?
Right. So nutrition, as much as it is performance, it's life skill. A lot of people come in and they may not have tried a vegetable. I've explained what cauliflower is, and it's, white broccoli, it's that education of like, some people live in different parts or come from different parts of the world, and they don't recognize maybe the produce that we use here or the proteins that we have here. Maybe they do something different, and it's fun to kind of see that and learn and understand that every part of the world is different, or their lifestyle at home is completely different than the lifestyle we're helping them create here, and understanding that we still have to eat our vegetables.
Right.
So getting people to do that and educate them on why. So a lot of the times people can just be like, yeah, I want to just tell me what to do and do it. But then a lot of the times the other flip of the coin is, why am I doing this? Like, I've been doing it, but why? And understanding that this will help you in your performance. But once you kind of graduate and go to a professional career, it's going to help you with longevity. Or say you don't become a professional athlete, you become a professional in the workforce, it's still going to help you. It's still that lifestyle that we want you to be able to understand, that whenever your schedules get busy, whatever it looks like for pro career or workforce, that you know how to adapt to that schedule, what to do. And it's an innate thing once you get through your time at Oregon. So it's a really life skill building thing. A lot of people don't cook either. And I'm not the greatest chef either, but I can boil water or cook eggs. Some people have never done that.
Right. No, I think that's super interesting to hear, just the differences that you guys face. I hadn't thought about that, to be honest with you, that, you're going to have different things in different parts of the world. And so what you know about changes. And, the funniest thing, I have to tell this story now. I have an unnamed member of my family who didn't know how to eat an artichoke. And it was super weird. Like this was a few years ago, so I'm early 20s, and I'm like, everybody should know how to eat an artichoke, but like, if you've never had one before, so I totally get it. Nikki Jupe, our guest, senior sports dietitian. Nikki, I got to ask you a couple more things. I'm just curious, with student athletes, and you mentioned just that life skill aspect. I imagine that a lot of them, you see them freshman year, and then you see them senior year, and you'd hope that the transformation has kind of taken place a little bit, right? I mean, how rewarding of an experience is that for you just as a professional being able to do what you do?
Man, the small wins are what makes the passion stay alive. And it's crazy to kind of go through that 4 years with the athlete. And so it's been funny because I was hired, let's just use Sabrina as an example. Like, her freshman year was my first year. Mm-hmm. So seeing her then and educating her on some of the stuff, and it's now she's a pro and she's still asking, like, I'm doing this, this is what I need to do. And she's like, just put it in her schedule now that it's just something she does. And I can say the same thing, with Satu and Ruthie. They've been just the progress. And sometimes you still got to urge them to get their vitamins in, but but like looking at their plates, and now, when we were still playing, this spring, it was, or right before all the craziness happened, it was like, wow, like, who are you? It's crazy. Or like, even Jordan Bell has come back and is like, I take my vitamins now. And I'm like, yes. And so it's just been fun to see, like, it clicks, and at some point it's going to click. And that's what it's all about, is understanding that it does take a little bit of education and a lot of support throughout those years, and them seeing you, but it works, and building those relationships with all of those athletes. It's rewarding. It's the small things.
Fans, I got to tell you, just give a search on your social media of choice for Fuel the Day, because Nikki and her staff has done just a great job. I've really enjoyed following, and I'm sure that it must be kind of fun for you guys to be able to have some fun in that way, right? I mean, I've loved it, the Fuel the Day stuff, and I know the student athletes must love it too, Nikki.
So it's been fun. So this has been Taylor and I's project from the jump. So 4 years ago, we were like, what are we doing? And we've come a long way in the 4 years. So we've been really creative. I'm very strategic with social media. So I like to understand, like, okay, what are we coming up with? Like, what are we posting about? And just put something, our lives get really busy or alter really quick. So just being able to look up at a calendar and be like, oh, that's where we're at, like, and then get creative with it. And all of us do something different every time. So it's been fun to see just like the creativity. We really had to buckle down in COVID and learn some Photoshop. Shout out to Josh at Go Ducks, because I think I text him weekly. But it's been great. And he has some people that's helped us with those videos, because we're dietitians. We're not digital media. So there's always a learning curve, but it's been fun to be creative with it for sure.
No, I think it's been awesome. And I mean, tip of the cap to you guys, you, Taylor, everybody, because taking that on, that's cool. I mean, I've gotten a kick out of it. I think that fans who follow it too, and I know that the student athletes have. Well, hey, I kept you almost a half an hour, and that was way longer than I said our meeting would go today. So, thanks for doing this. We'll have to do this again. I didn't even get a chance to ask you about recipes. You said you can't cook, but I don't believe you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do another plug, because we've had the snack bag program, and on our social media there is like a little website, and I can say shout out to our intern Shirley, because she was our Photoshop pro. She's since graduated, but we have a ton of recipes in that little area, and we've broken them down: breakfast, lunch, dinner. We've had great fun doing that over the last couple of years, and that comes from everyone helping. And this year we're going to still do it. Holly's heading it up. Jordan's been a ton of help with some of those recipe creations. I love it with their Zoom cooking things as well. So we do some cooking stuff. I look back and I'm like, man, look at all those chef videos. I wish I could do like that.
All right.
I'm like clinical nutrition brain, not a cook brain.
All right, so this is going to happen. We're going to do some sort of recipe and cooking segment with you guys on the show. I'm committing on the air right now because I think this would be great. I think this would be a lot of fun. Hey, Nikki, thanks for what you do for student athletes. I know that they've told me, a lot of them have, how much they appreciate it. Thanks for what you do, and thanks for all those long hours. I see you guys, it is a lot of work, and so I just really tip my cap to you guys for everything that you do, and hopefully we'll be able to have you in studio to actually do a cooking segment sooner than later. That's our hope anyway. Thanks, Nikki.
Absolutely.
Hey, it was fun talking with Nikki Jupe. We actually did talk after we finished our recording, and we're going to try and do something like that, adhering with social distancing and making sure that we do it the right way. But we might be able to go and do a little bit of a like, hey, what do you guys prep for student athletes? And we might be able to talk about that and show it to you here on the show for those of you who are watching. I hope that we're going to be able to do that. Coming up, your Cafe 2-minute drill update on Justin Herbert and the countdown until tomorrow. Also, a really nice tribute from Go Ducks. And with all these wildfires, we're going to wrap with that after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, finishing things up today, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm inside the Country Financial studio. Question on the Facebook stream, can you still get some duck gear? Absolutely. The Duck Store is still open, uoduckstore.com. In fact, Richard, I understand that we're actually going to be getting some new swag for Richard, our mannequin. He's been swagged out by the Duck Store. We're actually working on that right now. So yes, Duck Store is still open, getting ready for students as well. We're all kind of preparing for that. Even with remote learning, the Duck Store is still ramping up because remember, the Duck Store is not only your duck gear, your duck swag, but also textbooks, all that kind of stuff as well. Your Cafe 2-minute drill. I do want to tell you about Justin Herbert. So I got to say, I really feel for Tyrod Taylor and all the reports coming out about what's going on with him. But as a result, Justin Herbert's going to get his second career start this weekend. So good luck to Justin Herbert. And tomorrow, of course, a meeting with Pac-12 leadership. We'll see if any decisions come from that meeting. And when we have updates, we'll give them to you here on Duck Insider. Your 2-minute drill always brought to you by Cafe Yum, restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington where special diet requests and custom orders are always welcome. Menus and nutrition info, cafeyum.com. Last night, the digital team from Go Ducks posted a great video student athletes offering some support for those who have been affected by these wildfires.
The last few months have presented challenges that we could never imagine.
From the fight for social justice to the COVID pandemic,
we have all been standing up, speaking up, and masking up to ensure a better future for all Americans.
But those of us from the West Coast are facing another challenge right now. In this moment, that directly threatens our families and our homes.
Devastating wildfires are burning in Oregon, California, and Washington.
And those who have been affected need our help.
To the frontline workers battling these blazes, we thank you so much.
It is our honor to salute you as you fight to protect what is so valuable to us, our family members and our homes.
To anyone who is in position to help,
we ask that you consider a donation to the American Red Cross.
And to help those affected by the Holiday Farm fire outside of Eugene and Springfield,
please consider supporting United Way of Lane County.
The people affected by these fires are our family, friends, and neighbors.
Any support you can offer to them in this time of crisis is greatly appreciated.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Student athletes offering their support, again, United Way of Lane County and the American Red Cross, helping those who have been affected by all of these wildfires, particularly the Holiday Farm fire, which is still burning out east of Springfield and the Eugene area. The smoke has cleared for the most part, but still thinking about the devastation for those who have been affected. Powerful stuff from Oregon student athletes, including Brady Breeze, Cam McCormick from Oregon football, Luke Osborne from men's basketball, Tahina Paupau, Kylie Robinson, Ariel Carlson, Peyton Fuller, Riker Daniel, Madison Olson, a really great list of student athletes offering their support and really all of our support around the University of Oregon, not just athletics and the entire West Coast community, as firefighters still battling these blazes, and we're thinking about everybody who has been affected by these. That does it for us today. Tomorrow, well, who knows what the day is going to bring. I've given up on trying to keep track. We'll find out together. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock. Jody Sykes, Chief Compliance Officer, is scheduled to join us, and maybe we'll have some updates on what the Pac-12 is going to do. We'll find out together. Countdown's on. One more day. See you tomorrow, everybody.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help with 401k tips and smart savings strategies.